Hello and welcome to the Moto Mash, brought to you by the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. I'm your host Harvey. With me, as usual today, is Michael and Paul. How are you doing today, lads?
All good, man.
Skinny bang bang. Paul's a bit sincere.
I'm very sincere, bang bang, yes. After an 11s game, an 11-side football game, I am not built to take bumps as a goalkeeper anymore. Just not. Dad life is softened me.
Just have to move into left back, man. Well.
No, that's a fucking graveyard shift, by the way. No way. I feel sorry for the boys bombing up and down today, man. Honestly, that is you're just so underappreciated, man. Backwards and forwards for 90 minutes. Nah, man.
Striker?
I'll be a goalie. I mean, that would be alright. I mean,
Poacher, that's it.
standing up there, last shoulder of the defender, take it easy.
Happy days.
I can see that, but nah, the bumps being a goalkeeper totally suck. Totally suck. I have a fucked toe, I have a fucked elbow, I have a very dodgy groin all of a sudden. Groin muscle, and my hip bones are sore. It was a very busy game, so I'm home.
Did it for a good cause though, so
Yes, it was for charity.
Kudos.
It was for charity, so a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. It was good laugh, actually, to be fair.
good. Glad you enjoyed yourself. I need to jump into that ice bath now.
Aye, a wheelie bin full of ice. It would be awesome.
Aye. So, French Grand Prix.
Wee.
Wee. Oh my goodness. Ferrari. So, let's just jump into the qualifying, shall we? Ferrari had a very good day at qualifying. Red Bull had a decent day. Mercedes, not so well, considering they thought that they actually earmarked or bookmarked this track as one of the best tracks for their car to perform at.
Mm-hmm.
They lost time instead of gaining time. Yeah. So, Lewis Hamilton would say, what did he say? It was like a slap in the face or something along those lines. For the qualifying. So, Mick Schumacher deleted time. Who else was got to the time deleted and dropped it? Was it Michael? Do you remember?
I want to say Ricardo got a time deleted, but
Ricardo did get a time deleted.
He did.
he still got through. But
He got through. Schumacher's
I think who else was in the cusp?
an
Aston Martin, maybe.
Anyway, Norris had a good qualifying.
Aye, got
as
to
well.
P5.
He did.
Massive
aye.
improvement for Ricardo, right up the arse of Norris all weekend, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. That too is true. One thing that came at qualifying though, I keep seeing it. So obviously, even though, what's his name, starting for the back of the grid scenes, a couple of people, but they
K-Mag as well.
and K-Mag as well, they're still allowed to go through qualifying.
It's weird that, isn't it? You would think that
So
they should be like kept at the road so that it gives other folk a chance.
Yep. I mean, K-Mag got into the top 10 in qualifying.
Aye.
So that's took away somebody's chance of getting, like, setting a better time. You know what I mean? Making a wee adjustment and, you know.
Once it comes race day and he gets punted back down, everybody shuffles up. But
Aye.
I'm sure whoever finished just outside the top 10 would have liked to run a few laps and see what they could do.
Yeah.
And that's that way. We science was effectively there to be a
toll for
his teammate for Leclerc, which worked.
Which it did.
Ricardo. Ricardo qualified 11th, so it would have been him. And this week he's in such better, his form's so much better. I'm sure he would have loved a chance at Q3.
Aye, to see if he could
Magnussen nipped in there in front of him.
Bump himself up a few places.
Is that like a dodgy thing with the rules, do you think, guys?
So it's a part of it's like the 107% rule. Sure, I'm not going to be able to explain this properly, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah, get old college try.
So to be eligible to start a Grand Prix, a driver, they have to qualify within 107% of the time set in Q1 by the fastest car. Right? So they need to set a time, basically, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, let them get there to do that. But once that's out the road, just say bye. Do you know what I mean? Let them get a time, and then bye. Everybody else, now it's your turn to do the fight for the qualifying. Do you know what I mean? That way, I mean, not it made much difference, but like teams, I'm sure every team would have done it as well. Like done what Ferrari done today, used that rule to their advantage, knowing that Sainz wasn't going to be, he's going to be starting at the back, so he's just out there to give Leclerc that slingshot, plus dirty air for a folk. Like, you know, it's if it wasn't allowed, I think it would be better. In my opinion, I don't know. Some people might think differently, but to me, I think let them set a time so that they can be eligible to start the race, and then that's it for them.
I feel like the rule shouldn't be a grid place penalty. It should just be a start for the pit lane thing.
Perfect.
Aye. And then that way, like the requirement can still be there that they have to run a lap in Q1, but there's no minimum time. They just have to complete a full lap of the track.
Complete it, aye.
And then
to make sure
that's them, they're valid for the race. And then because of the what they've done in the car that's incurred the penalty, they have to then step for the pit lane.
It does seem very unfair on the likes of Ricardo, and I think it was Esteban Ocon as well, who they miss out on their chance to improve their time at the top
one
10.
of them. Aye.
It's a very unusual rule.
It is. It's one of the rules in F1 that's just like, you just kind of scratch your head and be like, what's that all about? Do you know what I mean?
Why?
No, I kind of, I mean, I don't even know why it has to be within 107% of the time set.
I don't know how they've figured that out, man. It's weird.
It's so weird. Like, even if they just say, like, they have to, just to make sure that the car can run, I guess, to make sure it can safely complete a lap without falling apart, or, you know, because sometimes they have crashes in, like, you know, the day before or whatever, and they're working to put the car back together and stuff, you know, and anything can happen. So, but anyway, I digress. I think that rule should be done away with. It seems a bit unfair to me that it's taking away an opportunity for somebody else to further themselves.
It's
on the grid.
A weird decision that the teams have got to kind of wrestle with when they're in that position where they know they're going to be starting for the back of the grid. So you can continue to run for as long as you go in the qualifying and collect the data to inform what your race strategy is going to be, or you can save your engine, save your power unit,
save it, and then save tires.
Like, save on wear and tear on the car by no running as many laps. Take it easy on the Saturday.
You could argue save on mental fatigue of the driver as well, but then you could also argue, well, if he's up into Q3, his sharpness will be up a bit as well. So you know, there's intricacies. Yeah. Did anything really stand out in qualifying? I can't remember, apart from what we just talked about. for you anyway?
Just really felt for Mick Schumacher again, obviously with the track limit thing. Seems to be a lot more of that this season than I've ever noticed before. I don't know if that's just me.
Bloody pain, man. It does my head in.
They're really coming down on it this year, track limits.
It's one of those things where they're saying that they're going to be more consistent. So, I mean, fair play to them being more consistent. But to me, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I completely agree with it. Obviously, the people who got flagged for exceeding track limits, they did. Right? I'm not arguing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm arguing the fact that it only happened on one corner. Each of them, it was only one corner. Surely you could say to them, give them a warning. You know, not go straight to deleting the time. I mean,
it seems like there's a better way they can do it. Like in the race, you get, I don't remember what the number is, man. It's like 6 or something times you can. Like you do so many, you get a warning. Then if you do it another once or twice, you get. I don't know what you get, man. Actually, a drive-through penalty or something.
They start off with deleting lap times during the race, and you're like, well, okay, cool. That's whatever. It's like, ooh, that'll teach me. And then it progresses for there. They get penalties, etc.
So,
drive-throughs, but
like if that's the case in a race, then why can they not have like some in qualifying where it's like any given lap you can only exceed the track limits by a certain percentage or something like that. Put some kind of sensor on the car or on the track or both, and then like your tyre like goes across by, I don't know, 10% of the overall width of the tyre. Well, that's like 10% in your thing, and then if you go over by 50% in any given lap, which could be by going really wide once, or it might be like in every second corner you've went wide by a tiny bit and then it adds up. I don't know. Maybe that would be really hard to implement. I don't know, but it's just shite.
Right. Anyway, it's shite.
You want the guys to be pushing the cars to their absolute limits in qualifying to get the single best lap they can out of that car, and then you're penalising them for like going a wee bit wide in a corner.
See, this is my thing, right? The one corner that he went, he was like not even an inch over, but they were over. Fair enough. Is that giving you that much an advantage though?
No, it's just that the wider you go, the more off the line you are, the more curb you're hitting. Like, right? What advantage are you really getting there?
Anyway, that's guy. We'll move on to the race then. So we shall. Start of the race. Lights out. Boom. Here we go. Leclerc manages to keep the lead. Verstappen is hot in his tail. He's chasing him for laps. What lap did he pit? He pitted in his 16th lap.
I think so. There or thereabouts.
And then anyway, before that, who got off to a good start? Mercedes got off to a good start. Perez 17. Got off. 17. There wasn't much, at least. This Grand Prix, there was no shenanigans from the get go. Then 17. Verstappen, after pushing, comes in to put the hards on. A couple of laps later, Charles, sorry, should I say? His rear tyres are worn, and Ferrari have took a gamble there and kept him out, and getting into that corner there, you can see it. This is the back tyres, man. They just went, and he spins out, nose into the barrier. He's trying to reverse. I think he was saying it wouldn't go in, the accelerator wasn't working. Something like that.
I think in the crash, they had a similar issue with the accelerator that they had previously. So basically, I think it was stuck open, so it wouldn't let him shift gear. His radio message was like bone chilling, man.
Was it? That's it. Oh man, you could feel it. You could feel it.
Frustration.
That he's like, I'm trying to get in first, kind of. Then when he realizes that's it, the way he just it's like, oh my god, you could feel it in your core, man. You're like, oh man, this man is.
Bless his wee cotton socks.
Have you seen what he says after the?
He's been very harsh on himself post-race. Very hard.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'll tell you now, I really feel for Charles Leclerc after this weekend. He has been put in a position where he feels he has a mountain to climb, and he is under a lot of pressure.
So much
He is
pressure.
mentally under a lot of pressure as a driver Ferrari right now. He's obviously twice he's been leading, his engines gave out. There has been issues with team orders, with pits, problems, shenanigans, everything that should have been things that he doesn't need to worry about have allowed Max Verstappen to really pull ahead and dominate. And now it's getting to such a stage where there's mental fatigue occurring. I would put it to you guys, obviously, with a wee mistake that sends him off the track there. We just misjudging a wee bit. I would go as far as say that's it done, lads, by the way. I would. I think it's done.
I mean,
what happens?
All right. Let me just see the points difference now. It is.
It's not that much. I mean, it's not as much as you'd think it is.
63.
63, but it's
63. I get what you're saying.
With the record, with the pressure that he's under, with the desperation in him that he needs to chase, he's not coming back.
I would probably side with you on that. Maybe after next week, we'll wait and see what happens. Probably if next week, if they don't pick up any points and Max wins again, that pretty much game over. But there's still, how many races?
They're requiring a lot of snookers now. They're requiring Red Bull to fall apart for at least a month.
It could happen. That's the thing. It could happen.
I don't think it will.
So, just to go back to what he said in the paddock, actually, when he got to the paddock, somebody interviewed him right there and then. He's like, it's just not good enough. I am performing at a very high level since the beginning of the season, but if I keep making these mistakes, it is pointless to be performing at this high level. I will try to get better, but this is not good.
I mean, that's the comments of somebody that's absolutely heartbroken with Sell. I mean, he's got it. That's a very raw statement there, isn't it?
He has a steep mountain to climb now, I'd say, to be honest. But
it's effectively a cliff face, if you ask me.
I think one of the quotes he said, like, if I keep doing mistakes like this, then I deserve to not win the championship. Like, Jesus.
Here's the biggest problem, right? In order for Leclerc to win the Drivers' Championship and for Ferrari to win the Constructors' Championship from where they're at right now, it would require them to be consistent until the end of the season. The biggest thing that has let them down is consistency.
So, 2 engine failures. I mean, Charles himself has had 2 engine failures. I had it here. 2 engine failures.
And that's just
2 strategy errors for the team. Do you know what I mean?
Talking about the engine failures and stuff, man. That's just his car.
That's his. Just him, his car.
You've got Sainz. You've then got the Haas.
Then you've got, and then the other one there. What is it? Alfa Romeo. Aye. Which actually today, did that no give it today as well?
Zhu. Aye, his motor kicked the bucket.
Yep. So
I don't actually know what the problem was, but I had to pull up at the side of the track. It's brutal, man.
It's
how they've managed to design. What they've basically done, car. Right? What they've basically done is they've designed a sort of classic supercar for the 80s. It is this ridiculous wonder of modern machinery. It drives so fast. It's so good to drive. But every 20 miles it breaks down.
Yep. Aye.
And it costs a fucking fortune to fix it.
Aye. And remember, this is the other thing that we're not even taking into account. Later on in the season, he's going to take a penalty as well.
Mm-hmm.
For components.
Yep, it's going to happen. Yep.
So, I mean...
Again, what can you do? What can you honestly do?
Aye. And you know, oh man, it's
a month worth of snookers they need from Red Bull failure.
Aye.
He's been fighting with one hand tied behind his back for the jump, and he's just had the second hand tied behind his back now.
Aye.
I mean, I think it's something. For the 12 races, he's been on pole position 7 times.
It's just not good enough for
He should have won more than
so disappointing.
I think Max Verstappen's won 7 out of 12. I can't even mind, but it's something crazy like that. So, but it's just not good enough. He's been on pole 7 times. He should be further ahead than he is, because you start on pole. I mean, the race essentially is yours to lose. Yeah, I feel sorry for him, but man, I mean, a day like Shao, Ferrari's my team. I'm just like, I'm laughing. Like, fuck, you got to do. If you don't laugh, you greet. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just it's comedy. Like
it's annoying me. That's what it's doing. But I mean,
it's genuinely like somebody at Ferrari's like sabotaging them. It's at that level.
Do you know what, right? As a Ferrari man, I would not mind in the slightest if they just said, right, the seasons are done. We've got to put everything into next season. Fuck it. And then next season come out and dominate. I would love that. I wouldn't mind just calling the season out and being like,
do you know what would be great?
You know what I mean?
If they sacked their strategists.
Well, there's that too.
What were they doing with signs? Explain that to me, somebody.
Mate, I don't know. They were saying that he wouldn't last to the end of the race on the mediums. Get that, but
it's like 1 minute they're telling him to push, and then they're telling him no, and then they wait until he's fucking he's having a straight up fist fight with Perez. No.
Bro, they were literally Perez.
It was Perez, right?
Yeah, Perez. They were literally like
They were
toe to toe.
wheel.
Wheel to wheel. What I say toe. Anyway, they were toe to toe, going for it. You know, going round a corner, and they're box. While he's he's like, what?
Excuse me,
like,
sir.
No, not now. Like. He told him straight, like, no, like, why am I going to come in now? Like, and then he was genuinely pissed, and he's like, what? He was, I can make, like, I'm good. Like, and that, I think 2 laps later, he ended up getting in, dropping down to 9th, and then making back for 7th, around that.
He was
just looking at it like,
he did a wee bit with that virtual safety car when Joe had to pull up. Joe. Aye, that let him pull up again, and then he ended up. What did he come 5th or something? 4th, 5th?
4th. No, 5th. I'm lying. I can't tell you a lie. I need to go and look.
I'm looking up. He's 5th.
5th, aye. Because it was Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, Perez, then him. Yeah, that's right.
Alonso, a solid performance, came back 6th. The Alpines struggled a wee bit, man. They're like Mercedes, like they've been looking really good, really fast, and then for some reason this track's just the Haas as well.
Took it out of them.
They've just not had it in this track for some reason.
Haas's social media team again, by the way. We peaked at lap 1 was what they put in social media.
You got to love it for them. Love them, but
called it.
I was just so frustrated. Like after 2 weeks of brilliant, like getting to see Mick Schumacher fight it out, and
Yeah.
K-Mag as well, and then it's just
It's. I
Gone
mean,
again.
obviously the qualification snafus killed Mick's weekend effectively.
well, there's that too.
Aye.
I don't
And
think
K-Mag
even
was never going to fly through the field the way Sainz can in
Yeah.
the fastest car on the grid.
aye.
It's
And even then,
unfortunate.
even if Mick got through, and I think the way that car was set, I don't know what happened.
Aye, whether
Just
it's
looked to
gonna
be
make any
slow, slow. Like I know a few cars took some upgrades and that, but
Tell you what's
shouldn't
interesting,
make.
talking about setups and stuff. The Mercedes, as much as they've seemingly fell off the pace coming onto this track, their race pace under full fuel load was as good as the Ferrari and the Red Bull, if no better.
Oh, they're definitely making progress.
Aye, they're making progress now.
Just for some reason, once they've not got that load, I don't know if it's something to do with the suspension setup or what, but as soon as they've not got that the weight of the fuel in them, the Red Bulls and the Ferraris, it is literally a weight is taken off them and they're able to go quicker. Whereas the Mercedes are just like, nah, that's fast enough.
It's like, fuck it. I'm good where I'm at. Because again, you can see it today when Max Verstappen, Lewis was behind him, obviously for the crash and that. And Verstappen just like gradually just pulling
I
away,
think to
pulling away.
be fair, the Mercs went into, well, not so much Russell because he was. Actually, we need to talk about Russell. That was dodgy. But anyway, we'll come back to that in a second. I think certainly with Hamilton, there was an element of protecting the tyres and not pushing too much because they knew that they didn't have it to get past Verstappen unless Verstappen has an issue. But then if he has an issue, they were just about close enough
Just,
that they would be all right anyway.
I think they just played it very safe. Is what they've done. I think they've said, right, we're in second, and at that time I don't know where Russell was, but maybe fourth.
He would have been fourth then. Yep.
They've made the decision. Command decision comes in. We're not going to push too hard.
Yep.
We're going to save our tyres and that. We're going to pick up the points. You know, the data as well, but we're not going to go for it.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, if we tell you to go for it, you're not going to catch him.
Yep.
That's for one. Two, wears your tyres out quicker.
Yep.
And well, we already seen what happened to Chow.
Yep.
So, like, you know,
It was
there's
a
no
sensible
point in that
thing to
where we can just pick up points, you know.
Now,
So-
talking about sensible, what the fuck was Russell thinking?
He turned into me.
Do you know what went through my
can't
head?
make it
I was
up.
like, you've spent too much time with Lewis.
Yes.
Because
I just say to myself, you're learning well then, son.
see, the move was like straight out of Max Verstappen's playbook. And then the getting on the radio was just like, oh, that's Lewis, man. That is exactly what Lewis would do. Like, he'd be straight on the radio to try and sway the stewards.
He needs to give that position back. Well, you just kind of bumped him off the course, so probably not. So when you see it in real time, like, oh, what happened? You can't really see, right? But then when you see the onboard, so at first I was like, oh, did he? I don't know. You see the onboard camera. George Russell's turning to the left, straightens up, hits him, then turns to the left. He gets on the radio and says, he turned into me. It's like, no.
No, mate, you turned into him.
You turned into him. Oh, God.
Christ, man. He's so impressive. He's got so much potential, so much skill. But now and again, he does things and it's like, he's still a rookie.
Aye. But he right in the same after that.
Oh yeah, he made up for it. Like,
Perez. He made up for it. He made Perez look like a rookie.
Aye.
What the hell was Perez doing in that restart? It just
Do you know what
man.
Perez was doing? he was doing the Ron Atkinson for fucking Rat Race. Oh, I'm in the race. I'm in the race.
I'm in the race. I sleeping. I'm sitting there looking at it like, and he's literally just like, well, what are you doing? George Russell's like, what? Thank you very much. Like,
Paul, obviously, you were playing the old charity football, so you didn't get to watch the race. So I don't know if you've seen it in highlights or replays at this point, but basically towards the end of the race, after Russell had just about T-boned Perez, he had been coming back at him. Then his car kicked the bucket, so there was a virtual safety car. So under the virtual safety car, Russell was obviously then, he was at the back of Perez. He, for some reason that the commentators were trying to explain, is him managing his delta time and allowing him to go a bit quicker as the safety car lifted or whatever else. I don't know. I think he was just farting about. But anyway, I think he's playing mind games and stuff. Like, he backed way over Perez. So Perez is just sauntering about. Virtual safety car's about to end. Perez is like, he's fucking put the tunes on or something, like no paying attention to what's happening. Russell just comes sneaking back up, sits on his shoulder, and then as soon as the virtual safety car ends, he just takes off. And overtakes him.
Straight away. Not even 10 seconds.
It was like 5 seconds, man.
He was past.
He was gone.
He was past.
As soon as they accelerated, Russell was just on the pedal quicker. Like, he flowed it, and Perez is like, wait, what? What's happening?
Then he's trying to fight back, but it's obviously too late then.
It was good driving for the two of them then.
Aye.
It's like after their previous incident, like you couldn't be too mad at Perez for like really, really pushing and trying to get the place back. Maybe making a wee bit of contact. But it was good shit for them.
Aye. It was aye.
I wonder if the lack of action in the midfield was a sign of things to come. Because like basically you've lost Haas, they've went backwards because they've had some issues this week, and Mercedes have went just that wee tiny bit forwards.
A bit better.
And you've left like the Alpines, the McLarens, kinda like Aston Martin and stuff. But like they've all just fell into their place. You know what I mean? They're no fighting quite as much. So there's just been, and obviously the type of track it is and that, but I just seems to have been a lot less action this week.
Aye, there wasn't that much action in the midfield. I don't know what it was. As you say, they were the Haas and the Alfa Romeo, all of them. Just wasn't there. Right. I mean, right, is there anything else you want to talk about in the race?
I don't think so.
I mean, it was a good race. Not really
Driver
good.
of the day, Sainz.
Aye, I'll give it to Sainz. You can't take away that shenanigans that happened at the end. You can't use that. Well, you kind of can, because he could have told him. He could have just stayed it.
Aye, he could have called his shot a bit better, but
he's already kind of in some. You know,
yeah, he needs to play. He needs to play it right. So he's kind of a bit too. I think honourable nod to Verstappen and Hamilton. The two of them, like despite everything else going on, like the two of them just did their own thing and took the 1-2. So I think they had a really good weekend. Really good race. Hamilton weekend's maybe a stretch because qualifying could have been better, but Sainz was the man. Like, he ran through the pack, so good show.
Definitely a better weekend for Mercedes than it was for Red Bull.
Aye. Perez was not looking great this week at all.
I don't know what is going on with Perez. He's just got his new 2-year deal, didn't he? So
he's not killing now.
He's just like, Max, you're on your own, old boy. I'm getting paid for 2 years.
Guaranteed deal. I'm sorted, baby. See you after the summer break.
Yeah.
Jacob, I've still got 2 races to go, buddy. Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still going to party.
Oh man. Oh goodness. I mean, Hamilton back into the more usual spots now, like a place where he's more used to being on the podium.
So that's three podiums in a row? Two thirds and a second now? Is that right?
Around that, aye.
Huh?
3 in a row, aye. 2 thirds and a second, aye.
You can definitely see the positive impact in the constructors, by the way. Mercedes are only...
See...
You would not think that.
And another...
because you're consistently in.
In another 3 or 4 races, Mercedes are going to overtake Ferrari in constructors. And I reckon Sainz is probably going to be overtaken by probably one or two of the Mercedes drivers in the Drivers' Championship as well.
Who would have thought that at the start of the season? Like,
Aye.
there's such a there's a place for longevity and just turning up. Like, having a fast car is awesome, but having a reliable car is also just as important.
It is the one and only straight up reason that I predicted Mercedes as the constructors winners when we did the predictions at the start of the season, because as tough as it was looking for them in the pre-season and stuff, you can bank on them for just
chipping away, man.
Just chipping away at being consistent week and week.
Just being consistent, that's it.
I mean, do they ever catch Red Bull? Probably not, but they'll give Ferrari a bit of a scare if Ferrari don't pull their finger and sort out the clear issues.
They'll aye. The way things are going now, Red Bull's winning drivers, constructor. Mercedes is coming. Mercedes constructing
runners up the constructors.
Constructor, runners up in the constructor.
And God knows what's happening on the driver's side.
And then the drive, aye.
Could well be a Red Bull 1-2, but no after how Perez looked this week. He'll have to get his finger in it.
I mean, literally, if Perez had finished
second,
third, aye, he would have.
He would have jumped Leclerc.
Jumped Leclerc. Believe aye. No wait, third or second, one of the two. But aye, and he would have been. He's 7 points behind him now.
Yeah.
Aye. So, next week it could be Red Bull 1-2. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Ferrari, man. Fucking Ferrari.
Going by the rate of progress, we'll do a Mercedes 1-2 in a couple of weeks. Or well, a couple of races, I should say, not a couple of weeks, but
it would require a bit of disaster in the big two teams for that, I think.
But the most consistent thing about this season is the inconsistency of the top two.
Yeah.
well, Red Bull at the start, the first couple of races, they had problems, didn't they? For then, I think they've kind of sorted themselves out.
They've definitely
reliability issues.
They've got more reliability.
Races and Red Bull have won 8 of them. Verstappen in particular has won 7, so it's
7. Aye. I think that will continue for a wee while. Mercedes could well, if by the end of the year they get their car properly sorted out. There's no reason why one of them couldn't win a race or two.
The Mercedes right now are like a kind of old school sort of poacher in football. Like, they're not creating opportunities for nobody, but the second that ball lands in front of them, they're going to walk onto the podium.
Take their chance.
You know what I mean? The first weekend where Verstappen and Leclerc feel the frustrations and they take each other out of race, Hamilton and Russell are going to stroll into the 1-2, just like do. Thank you very much.
Right. We haven't really seen any of that with them two yet. But seeing that, the two of them have been racing against each other for a long time.
They've known each other for a long ass time.
So they know how one another drive. So,
but also, it's only just now that the frustrations are really starting to set in for Leclerc.
well, aye.
So it's at this point where Leclerc might start to make questionable decisions.
Oh, right.
And if as soon as Leclerc steps out of line and annoys Verstappen will not think twice about shutting the door on him if he's trying to overtake, run him off the track.
Aye.
They've played nice this far, but it could get dicey at any moment.
Could get ugly. Right.
Which could.
Aye. Saying that, at qualifying, Verstappen, he didn't. Sorry, hit the mic there. Verstappen didn't seem too bothered about coming second. He was like,
Aye.
Qualifying. So we've got our car set up for the race this week. So it did look like it as well. They were going to use a strategy, but in the end, they didn't need to really, to be honest. So, aye. Good win for Max. Unlucky for Leclerc. So much frustration. I don't know what's going through his head right now, but he must be livid. Aye. Onwards and upwards, that's all I can say. Next week is Hungary at the Hungaroring. Interesting track, this one.
It is the shape of like a bloody teapot minus the handle. It's a weird track, man.
Paul, have you seen the layout of this track?
No, I haven't, mate.
The Hungaroring. Alright, so it's
I mean, I can picture the teapot.
this track. It's not. This circuit here will for sure bring fireworks.
It looks like a track that would favour Ferrari over Red Bull, I think. Plenty of corners, a mixture of fast corners and slower corners. There's really just the one big straight.
Right. What you did is, are you looking at a drawing of it?
Yes.
Michael?
Yeah, I've got the map up with
a map.
Shows me the stuff, the corners and that.
Right. Go and look at. There's a picture. You can see it's an aerial picture from right above it, or how different it looks from the drawing of it. You can see how some of the corners are tight.
I know what you mean.
You see it now?
If you look on the Wikipedia page, Mick, you'll see it. There's a literal satellite view photo from 2018. The track layout hasn't changed from then.
Oh, I've got some aerial shots.
There's a lot of U-turns going on, certainly.
Yep. That's a track that there'll be a lot of fighting on, and I love it. I'm here for it. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Hopefully,
turn one. There's going to be some instance at turn one because you've got your DRS zone at the last bend coming onto the straight. And then obviously you've got the straight, so then the overtaking, the majority of the overtaking is going to happen going into turn one.
Right, yeah.
And turn one's a tight ass turn.
That it's a U-turn basically.
Aye, just about, yep.
It's a horseshoe. Well, that's turn. I think technically it's turn 1 and 2, isn't it?
No, two's.
It's just one.
Two's coming back the other way.
Aye, it's the other hook back
They
up.
cut, so they basically they do like a kind of horseshoe, and then they come about halfway down the straight, and then the horseshoe back the other way, and then turn 3's at like a high speed, kinks to the right, and then it's like a short straight, and then kinks back to the left again. Turn 4, turn 5's are kind of longer. It's
on that
sort of longer sweeping corner. goes down into,
That
and you've got a
straight there
chicane.
from turn
6 and 7's a chicane.
from 4 to 5. That wee straight there, you've got to see some moves in there.
Aye,
as well.
yep.
In that.
Aye, because you get a good run up, good exit at 3, good run into 4, and then if you get a better exit than the guy in front of you coming off a 4, then you get into position down the, I'd imagine probably down the inside of them into 5. Yep. So there'll be some things going on there, and then that's looks like for turn 5, that long one there, then that looks like a Ferrari section, man. Short bit into the chicane, short bit, sweep left, sweep right,
Aye.
sweep left, sweep right, straight, tight right into a horseshoe 13, down into horseshoe 14, then back on the straight. So I think Mercedes, Ferrari, basically all the cars that have been doing well in the more sort of corner heavy tracks and stuff are going to do well here. The likes of Red Bull and Alpine, they'll not do bad. They'll make adjustments and stuff, but it's not going to suit them quite as much.
Especially the Alpine. The Red Bull, I've more faith in the Red Bull than the Alpine.
They're better positioned to make adjustments.
Alpine, not so much. Haas, they get their shit together this week.
Aye, could be a good one for Haas.
They can compete.
Did a bit of a kind of hybrid style between the Ferrari and the Red Bull, the Haas.
Yep. Well, it'll be another interesting one, so it will. And we'll be here. I'll get it in time this week. So I will. I missed the first hour today, just so everybody knows. So I had to then rewatch. Just because.
So Harvey,
I thought it was on it earlier.
just so you're aware, the Hungary race it's a bit early.
It's on at 8 o'clock.
Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the practice time. Race time's 2 o'clock. No, it's usual time. Never mind. Aye, so 2 o'clock start for the race, 3 o'clock start on the qualifying Saturday. So it's kind of usual times. That's obviously UK times I'm talking about. But aye. Yeah.
Aye, so Ring looks to be a nice wee track, full of action. Hopefully better than the French Grand Prix. I'm not saying that the French Grand Prix was bad necessarily. It just wasn't much action, to be honest, apart from Perez and what's his name there? Aye, George Russell. Perez and Russell. So this one looks like we'll get more action. Hopefully, anyway. And we'll see if Ferrari can finish a race. We'll see what they do to fuck up the drivers' race.
Aye. Tune in next week to see what fuck up Ferrari have made this time.
Shenanigans of Ferrari. Aye. Well, on that note there, we'll love yous and leave yous. If you haven't checked out the 2 previous episodes from the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast, lads, please check them out. We just had the AEW Mash. We talked about the Ring of Honor card there.
Probably switch off for 45 minutes.
Death before dishonor, and we had the MMA Mash, which was full of fights, cracking fights as well. So check them out, please. All right, Tattie by driver.
Oh, Tattie by driver.
Hello and welcome to the Moto Mash, brought to you by the Midweek Mashed Tattie. Fucked that up, didn't I?
Go again, bro.
Hello and welcome to the Moto Mash, brought to you by the Midweek Mashed. What the fuck?
The midweek. The old midweek mashed
Meep,
tea.
meep, meep.
Get that at the end of this episode.